Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Let me just put the volume a bit more higher just in case you can't hear me very well. But anyway, so the last time my video, I showed you the folder structure of the, I think the background, but I did not go into the front end. So right now what I've done, I've managed to divide both the front end and the back end. I've divided into different repositories because it's easier to manage it. When it comes to the CI pipeline Docker images, it's much more easier to manage it separate. So at the moment what I've done is very simple. I have created Docker images. So if you want to run the image, you will need a Docker account and also a Docker installed. So I have created a Docker image of both the backend and the front end, and this Docker image makes it easier. It package everything I need, all the services and everything, and makes it easier for me to run both the backend and the front end in a split of a second, rather than like making sure the backend runs and then the front end runs, and then make sure the database RabbitMQ and all those elastic all those services that I'm using in my application to run. It's like you have to go everywhere to make it run, but Docker does it in a split of a second. And the way that I have done it, for example, for the front end, or let's take a look at, I think, the back end. Yeah, the way that I've done it is that I've created a workflow, and I've got like a quick I've made quite a few changes here, so let's hope it still works. But I've got a Docker file, which basically takes the package. Whenever we do Maven install, we package the whole application and everything else in there, and then we take that package and then we create a working app, a directory called app, and then we copy from this directory. So we take it from the target directory, and basically when we do Maven install, we create our image right here, and then that image, we use that image, we say go to the target folder, get this image and copy into here, this app folder which we created here, and paste into here, expose this endpoint because that's the endpoint I use, and it's now at the moment a jar file. It used to be a WAR file. I recreated everything because I think jar files are a lot more easier. And this is the backend, and yeah, this is basically there were a lot of problems when I was doing this, creating the CI pipeline using Docker, especially around this bit, and what to copy and stuff like that. It just gives me a lot of problems, especially if the project is in the target folder is not in the the root of the project, then you have a lot of problems. So in the end I had to recreate everything and copy the fab folders into it, and then and then it made it easier for me to handle it. So I do have a Docker file, a Docker compose file to Docker up and Docker down every time I want to run things in a quick of a flash, so locally. So basically, like I say, right, take this image. I've deleted some of this image because I kept on creating a whole lot of stuff, and I say take the context of OTC backend, and OTC backend is basically the project itself, and this is the database I want to use, and expose this endpoint to the backend, and then I'm also going on about the database. I'm using the local database because that's the one that I got working for some reason. I'm assigning a port that I make sure that isn't in use. That took me quite a while to work out because sometimes the port is in use and you're not sure where and what. And then it's the front end. I created front end. I say take this image, because this image, if you want to run these from that, you would have created this image already. So you do docker build image and so forth, and then it will create this image and create also the image for the front end. And then, you know, I've got my services like the RabbitMQ and Elasticsearch. If you don't have these, it will fail. Basically, it will fail. So that is for locally. However, if somebody else wanted to use my image, obviously, then I have it on remotely as well in a different way. But this is where I use the CI pipeline to make sure that, you know, when everything runs and everything works, the CI pipeline then pushes everything in a flash. So and then bundle and then push it the image to remote docker, and then obviously anyone can run it or deploy into an environment. And the way that I have set it up, I'm running the CI pipeline in this mode. So when I do a pull request, or for this the main branch, I'm doing this one. When I do a push to the main branch, I want the CI pipeline to run. So I've got the database details here. What I've done here is I've set up my user, the database user and password. I mean, you saw it already earlier on, but when you create your database, you need your user and your password, your username and your password that you use to log in into your database. And then you want to set your ports, and you this is something that I copied while I was running the thing. These are options that you use to make sure that you set the database up real. And then, you know, you've got the RabbitMQ and Elasticsearch, because these are services that I'm using. And these are the steps for my CI pipeline. I need to set up JDK. I had a lot of failures with regards to this when I was using just the Maven, the pom.xml file. You know, like if the version on here is different from that one, you when it gets to the CI pipeline, it fails. That took me quite a while to work it out. Also, the version of this one, the checkout, also took me quite a while to work out, because the lower the version here, the less chances that the Java for that lower one is lower than what you've got here. So you need to make sure that you've got the right versions as well. At the moment, I'm not running the test. I'm skipping it because it passes when I run it alone, but it fails, which I need to work out why it's doing that. But the test passes. And then I'm logging into my Docker. These are also secrets that I've set up in GitHub, and then yeah, you need to set those up in order to use it. And then in the end, I'm pushing this image, and nothing. This is for the front end. Where's that's the back end. That's the back end. Let me see if there is anything. Oh yeah, obviously, because I separated it. And this is for the back end. And I'm also using the docker file. Obviously, you need the docker file in order to do this. It's using the docker file I said earlier. Take a look at this docker file, and then push it to true. So once everything passes, you know, I've got the context here, .context, meaning this very directory that you are in. So the directory of OTC is where everything is. So take the docker from this directory and where you are, and you will find it. So basically that's what I've said there. So this is for the backend. You need to make sure that when you do this CI pipeline, I'm trying not to get over my time, that you create a repository in Docker Hub. You create that repository, and this is the repository. This is the repository that you are referring to here as your tag when you push that image. So what the easiest thing about this and the good thing about this is that every time I'm ready to merge stuff in, obviously I need to sort out the test bit which I've written, which I will talk about later, so that I don't skip it. Best practice is to run the test, then make sure that it all passes before you push it out. So I've got some integration tests here which I've written already, basic ones, which should passes locally, which I'll talk about on my next video basically, or the next bit after that. Okay, so my time is going off and I'm running off. So this is the back end, and this is how far I've gone. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for now. See you on the next video.